What is happening, you wonderful people? So, I saw 8 new movies in September last month, and it's way better than September last year. Some movies I hated, some I thought were okay, some I really loved, so let's talk about it. So coming in at number 8 or last place, we have Megalopolis or Megaflopolis, whatever you want to call it. I had no expectations for this movie at all. Love Adam Driver, love Giancarlo Esposito, Lawrence Fishburne. The cast is great. The cast is really good, you know. But they were given something to work with that did not work. It did not work. And again, I had no expectations for this movie, and I wasn't really planning on seeing it. I wasn't at all. But you know, everyone was watching it. So I was like, you know what? Might as well go watch it. You know, I need to try to watch everything, you know what I mean? Because as a movie critic, or becoming a movie critic in the future, I'm going to try to watch everything, you know what I mean? But this movie is just dreadfully awful, and you know, it's not the worst film I've ever seen. It's not. I mean, it would maybe be close, but I don't know. But it's really bad. It really is. Like, I went in, like I always say, if y'all been watching the channel for a while, y'all know I always say, every movie I go into, I want to enjoy. Every movie I walk into, I don't want to hate. I do not want to hate a movie at all. I don't. And there's nothing worse than hating a movie. Doesn't matter what movie it is, you know. But this movie is a very, very slow burn. It is. And it's so slow burn that I legit wanted to walk out. And I had to get up to go to the restroom. I did. And I don't do that in movies very much. First time in my life I ever had to go to the restroom during a movie was Cars 2 when I was younger. And I like Cars 2 more than most people, you know. Second movie was The First Omen earlier this year. A lot of people like that movie. That is I've seen 51 movies this year so far. That is my worst movie of the year. I do not like that movie. And this is the third film. And right before it ended, I had to go to the restroom, you know, right when it ended. And it's just, it just doesn't work. And I see the ideas right there. Like, they're in my grasp, or not my grasp, but the ideas were right there where you can just grab it and see the ideas, but they're not executed properly at all. And the characters the narrative is all over the place. It's messy, and the characterization is terrible, and the dialogue just between our actors and just like, you know, our leads, it just doesn't work, and it just comes off as goofy, and it just feels awkward. And that's why Megaflopolis is last place at number 8. And number 7, Never Let Go. Now, I know majority of people are enjoying this film. They are, and I applaud that. I'm glad y'all are enjoying it. I didn't enjoy this film, and this is another film that, you know, I had no expectations for. Another film that I walked into hoping I'd enjoy it, you know, but I just didn't. And I love Halle Berry. Halle Berry is amazing in everything she's in. And the two boys that were in this film, don't know their names. I think they're new actors. They were phenomenal in this movie. Like, they have a future. They have the acting chops, and their acting chops almost saved this movie. But just like Megalopolis, this movie, in my opinion, is a definition of a slow burn. It's so slow, and the pacing is a mess, and I couldn't get connected to the story. And it's sad because this is a very interesting story. It is. Because you have Halle Berry and her 2 sons who live in this cabin in the woods, and there's like this apocalypse. I don't know if you want to call it apocalypse, but they're dogs too. I don't remember if they had 1 or 2 dogs, something like that. It was just one. And you can't leave the house if you don't have the rope on, because these zombie demon things will come after you. But if you have the rope on, they can't get you. Interesting premise, right? Yeah. Just like Megalopolis. The ideas are right there in plain sight, but it's not executed properly. It's not. And, you know, it sucks as well because Lionsgate this year just, all their films, like, I haven't seen Crow yet. I still need to watch it. I know everyone's hating that. Never Let Go wasn't very good. Megalopolis, I think, was Lionsgate. Wasn't good at all. I personally really liked the new Strangers movie. I know a lot of people didn't. I liked it. Whatever else Lionsgate released this year, I don't know. But it's just, the atmosphere is great and the tension is great. It's scary. It's gory, more gory than I thought it would be. But it's just, I don't know if I want to say you can't get connected to these characters in this film, but I think because I saw it, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, about a month ago, something like that, but I just couldn't get connected to the story. That's my main issue with it, and there are some good things about it, like I said, the scary moments and, all that type of good stuff, but I could not get connected to the story, the characters, none of that. So Never Let Go is number 7 for me. Now, this is where we start getting into the movies I actually really, really enjoyed. And, last year, September, I saw, 9 or 10 or 11 movies, and I only liked, 3 of them, you know what I mean? 2 or 3, something like that. So, last year, September was awful, but this year was really good, besides Megalopolis and Never Let Go, So, number 6 is Rebel Ridge, and I was not planning on watching this movie either, but I heard good things about this movie, really good things. So I was like, you know what? Might as well go check it out. Aaron Pierre is a phenomenal actor, up-and-coming actor. He's great. And I think it's Dakota Johnson's dad. I'm pretty sure that's their dad who played the main cop in this. He's great. Roy from The Office, I don't remember his character's name in this movie. He's cool. Has good character arc in this movie, by the way, even though his role is small, So I wasn't really expecting much from Rebel Ridge, but I went in and I had a blast. I had a blast with this movie. The only critique I have to say that I have for this movie, one little negative, is it is so actually maybe 2. Just 2 little ones. It is a little slow. I do feel like it's a little slow. And I do feel like towards the middle, the end of the middle, towards the beginning of the end, so around that area, it kind of pivots away from the overarching narrative story in a way. And it didn't really take me out, but it almost did, and I was like, can we get back to the main story narrative, please? I'm really enjoying this, but I want to get back to seeing the action and all that. But those are really the only negatives I have for Rebel Ridge. I am not someone who is the biggest fan of First Blood, the first Rambo movie. I just thought it was okay. I only watched it once years ago. But this really is like First Blood. People are saying it is, and it truly is. And in that sense, it's not copying the movie, but it's doing its own thing and being different, and it works. And the action is brutal, and it is suspenseful in its own way for what this movie is, And I truly enjoyed Rebel Ridge. I really did. And again, I was not expecting much. A lot of these movies in September last month, I was not expecting to like as much as I did besides the other 2, But mainly talking about this one, I really enjoyed Rebel Ridge, and it's a Netflix film, and Netflix original films, they don't have a good track record with me, I should say. The only ones I've liked is this one. They Cloned Tyrone last year was phenomenal. And then Hitman's another surprise this year. I had no expectations for it, but I enjoyed it, and it is great because, Glenn Powell's great. But anyways, Rebel Ridge is number 6 for me. It's really good. Go check it out if you haven't yet. And number 5 is Speak No Evil, another one I had no expectations for and really no excitement for. I didn't have any excitement for this movie, but, James McAvoy is a phenomenal actor. And Blumhouse, I love Blumhouse. I do. I really do. But lately, not just for me, but for everyone, Blumhouse has not been putting out banger after banger. Instead, they've been putting out just the slop. You know what I mean? And just all of it. Like Night Swim, Imaginary, those were terrible. And, I haven't watched Afraid yet. I still need to watch it, but I've heard that's terrible. And, going into this movie, I was like, I've never seen the 2022 Danish film. And I was like, they're already making a remake of a 2-year-old movie? It's a little weird. I don't know if that works. But I went in, and the movie kind of grew on me a little bit but I had fun with this movie. I had an absolute blast, and I figured it would grow on me. I figured it would, and I enjoyed it. And I think if you're a big horror fan, James McAvoy fan, even Blumhouse fan, or a psychological horror fan, definitely go check it out. It does have the usual horror tropes in it, you know, and the main dad in this movie, not James McAvoy, but the other one, he's useless in this movie, but it's actually kind of funny. And I saw this movie at an advanced screening about a month ago, and my crowd was loving it. They were loving it, and they were getting me amped up, and I was like, oh, come on, what are you doing? Like, all together, we were all like, oh, you're stupid, blah, blah, like, not exactly like that, but we were having fun, you know, we were having a blast. And, you know, this movie it's suspenseful. It is very, very suspenseful. I gotta say, the pacing, I feel like, you know, pacing's fine. You know, the pacing was okay. But other than that, besides that, I had a blast with Speak No Evil. And if you have not seen it yet, this is the best Blumhouse movie. This is the best movie that Blumhouse has released in a while. And I do like Five Nights at Freddy's more, you know, because I really thoroughly enjoyed that more, you know. And not everyone liked the new Insidious last year. You know, Sony and Blumhouse worked on that together. I really liked that new Insidious last year. Everyone hated the new Exorcist last year. I personally really enjoyed that film. I did, you know. So, Speak No Evil is number 5. It is a really, really good, suspenseful, just crazy, insane, bonkers movie. It's really good. Number 5. It's showtime. So, number 4 is Beetlejuice. Now, I am someone who only watched the original for the first time a couple months ago, and my mom tried showing me it when I was little. I wasn't interested, you know. So I watched it, and I like the original Beetlejuice. I do. I don't love it like everyone else. I'd watch it again, you know. So I went into this one with mild expectations, not being hyped, but, you know, interested and excited because I liked the first one, you know. And I don't love this film, but I enjoyed it. I like it, you know what I mean? And I like it significantly more than the first one. But, you know, the humor's great. The actors are great. Winona Ryder's back. You bring in Jenna Ortega, who, just her demeanor, she fits in the Beetlejuice world. You know what I mean? She does. And Catherine O'Hara, there are some things she says in this movie that are absolutely so out of pocket from left field, but so funny. And you will literally be pissing your pants. Like, you will be cackling. That's how funny the movie is and how funny she is in this movie. And, you know, Michael Keaton's great as Beetlejuice again. And, you know, I am someone who prefers practical effects over CGI, you know? I'm okay with CGI. Use CGI as much as you want. Just make it good. But also, I encourage you to use practical effects. And, you know, Tim Burton, I'm not the biggest Tim Burton fan. I'm just not, you know. I like both of the Beetlejuice movies. Dumbo I like more than most people. His other films, you know, I've seen bits and pieces. I'm just not the biggest fan of. But I'm not the biggest fan of how he uses practical effects. It just, in my opinion, it's cool how he does it. It is cool. But also at the same time, it just feels weird, in my opinion, like wonky, you know what I mean? But, you know, I feel like Beetlejuice is a good example of a good legacy sequel. You know, like you have this one. You have Top Gun Maverick. You have, Halloween 2018. I love that film, you know. And the new Scream trilogy, 4, 5, and 6. I love all 3 of them, and I can't wait for Scream 7, you know. And, you know, I feel like sometimes legacy sequels are bad, really bad. But this is an example of a fun one. You know what I mean? I feel like it's a fun one, and I can recommend it. And it's just, I like the aesthetic in this film and the tone. The tone, it does a good job of having, you know, the humor, but also maybe some serious moments. You know, I feel like Tim Burton did a good job with that. And, you know, Michael Keaton, he was having a blast. So Beetlejuice is number 4 for me. So it's pretty good.
It's showtime.
And number 3 is a movie no one talked about. I don't think anyone saw. Some people did. Some people are talking about it. But Wolves with George Clooney and Brad Pitt. And, you know, I went to go see it. I live close to Austin, right? So I went to go see it at the IMAX Bob Bullock Museum downtown, close to the the UT campus, and that was a blast. Like, I really, really enjoyed this film, and I love the aesthetic and the tone and the vibe of this film, and, Christmas is always nostalgic for us, right? It's nostalgic for me. I love New York Christmas movies, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? And this has that. This takes place in New York around Christmas time, and that vibe, aesthetic, tone, presence, whatever you want to call it, fits in this movie, and that's what makes this movie. And George Clooney and Brad Pitt, both their dynamic together is amazing in this film. And whether it's their banter back and forth, whether it's them trying to help each other, or just having a conversation, or just just cussing at each other, it doesn't matter what it is, this movie is a blast. And I'm trying to think of the few negatives I had for it. I didn't have very many, but it's just, see, that's what's good about movies in general, and especially this movie. I can't think of the negatives I had for this movie, and I know I had a few, because it's fun. And I know most people aren't really enjoying it, but so that's a subjectivity of film. Film is beautiful. It's the best art. It's the best piece of art there is out there, and I really enjoyed Wolves. I did, and if you have not seen it, it's not in theaters anymore. It was a limited release. Kind of found that out late, but it's on Apple TV. And I know most of y'all probably have Apple TV. If you do, click on Wolves tonight. It's really good. I might even watch it soon again, because I really, really enjoyed it. It's fun. And number 2, another movie that I had no expectations for, The Wild Robot. I've actually seen it twice now. I saw it a couple weeks ago, and then I posted my review after that because I was sick, right? And then I saw it about a week ago with my family again, and it's a beautiful film. It is a beautiful film, especially with the scope and scale of where this movie takes place, just in this one place on this island. You feel a mystery about this world and these characters, and you actually feel for these characters. And I didn't fully cry, but I could feel, right here, I could feel that, and, it's just about this robot who lands on this island and becomes friends and just builds a family with these animals, and it's just beautiful. And it's like, it's literally a new modern version of The Fox and the Hound, and it's beautiful, and it's sad, and it's devastating, and it's just a feel-good movie. And I loved the characters. I loved the characters so much in this. You have Rosamund, I don't know the numbers, but Roz is great. I cannot think of the duckling's name, but the duckling was great. Fink was the fox, voiced by Pedro Pascal. He was great. And you just have all these other characters, the possums, the bear. You have the eagle. You have the older goose, and all these characters, you just feel for them, and you want to continue to go on this journey with them, and you don't want the movie to end. And it's just a feel-good movie. And I really, really enjoyed The Wild Robot. I didn't expect it. I did not expect to love it as much as I did. And right now, in my rankings for this year, it's number 8 on Letterboxd. It's number 8, I believe. But yeah, Wild Robot is truly, truly exceptional, and just, it's about motherhood and just family and friendship and having a sense of belonging / community, and it just works for what it is. And again, the scope and scale is amazing, and it just, overall, it works. Like, it's beautiful. And now, talking about my number 1 film of September 2024. Y'all already know what it is. Transformers 1. I was hyped for this film. I am a Transformers fan. I love the first film. I've actually never seen all of the second and third film, Revenge of the Fallen, Dark of the Moon. I will watch them eventually, I promise. I've seen, bits and pieces, but I started watching Revenge of the Fallen a while back, and I didn't finish it, but what I saw I really enjoyed, and Age of Extinction and Last Night people hate. People don't like those films. I like those films, I really do. And then Bumblebee is great. Rise of the Beast, I do not like. I am so disappointed with that film still. I do not like it. But then we have Transformers 1, you know? And I had expectations for this film. I was super hyped. It was one of my most anticipated movies of the year. And I freaking love this film. This is what I wanted Transformers to be. This is what I wanted Rise of the Beast to be last year. This is a character-driven movie. This is a world-building movie. This is a movie about a lust for power and a movie about anger. And it starts as a movie about friendship, bravery, and being there for your family and friends. And then it dwindles. It dwindles down to a movie about anger and a lust for power and wanting to have that power and use it not for good, you know? And the way we see Megatron and Optimus Prime, or D16 and Orion Pax, their dynamic in this movie is done better than the live action movies. And they did, in this movie, their dynamic is put in a way that they didn't even use in the live action films. And the animation is beautiful. Chris Hemsworth is great as Optimus Prime. Those are two things I was worried about. Chris Hemsworth and animation both worked. And the other characters are great. Keegan-Michael Key as Bumblebee is amazing. Scarlett Johansson as can't think of her name. I keep wanting to say RC, but it's not RC. I can't remember. But John Hamm as Sentinel Prime was the ultimate villain. You know, he's the ultimate villain in this film. And you have Steve Buscemi, or I butchered his name. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Randall. He played on all the Monsters Inc. He played on all the Adam Sandler movies. He voices one of the Transformers, and it's an awesome film. It's my favorite Transformers film, and the action's insane, and it's devastating at times, but you just have a crowd that is going, my crowd was going crazy, and I'm just like, this is a film you need to see with a crowd, and this is a film you need to see in IMAX or 3D or with Dolby or I don't know, just in that type 70 millimeter IMAX if they had it in 70 millimeter. I don't know, but yeah, Transformers 1 is one of the best films of the year as well. It's my number 6 right now, number 6 I think. And it's the ultimate Transformers film, and it's amazing. You know, I can't do Optimus Prime voice, I can't, but it's great, man. It's great. So that was my September movies ranking. That'll wrap up this video. Thank y'all so much for watching. Do not forget to subscribe down here and like, comment, share on this video. Next milestone is 500. We're almost there. We're at 436 right now. Next the big milestone after 500, you know, 600, 700, 8, 9, and then 1K and beyond that. I'm grateful for y'all. Thank y'all for always being here. And if you're new to the channel, I always do movie reviews on here, TV show reviews, live streams, movie news, and trailer reactions. You know, all that wonderful movie stuff. And y'all let me know down below, what did y'all think of all these movies that I saw? What are y'all's rankings? I want to know. Like, did y'all put Never Let Go first? Did y'all put Wild Robot last? Did y'all not like any of these films? Did y'all like all of them? Tell me down below, and that'll do it for me today. Keep talking movies, my wonderful people. Cheers.